Got a bonus unboxing video for you this week. It's Jim with CGC Sports Illustrated. So I get asked a lot of questions, but one of the questions I get asked frequently is, hey Jim, do you just buy raw issues and get them graded, or do you buy issues that are already slabbed? How do you build your collection? And it's a great question. Obviously, you can tell from all the unboxing videos, I buy a lot of raw issues and get them graded, but I certainly buy tons of slabbed issues. And in fact, I'm buying more slabbed issues than I probably ever have before, and it just kind of makes sense because the supply of vintage, especially vintage newsstand issues, has really dried up, and they're really, really difficult to find. So, if you've got an issue that you want, especially if you want it in a high grade, good luck finding a nice high grade raw issue that you can send in yourself. Not saying it can't be done, just saying it's harder than it's ever been. And I know I'm not the only collector that's doing that. A lot of collectors are buying more slabbed issues than ever because you just can't find good, high quality, high grade raw issues anymore. So what's different and why this is a bonus unboxing video is this is not a box from CGC. This is a slab that I purchased myself. And I thought, what the heck, I'll do an unboxing video about it and tell a little story and that sort of thing. So unlike my usual unboxing videos, I know exactly what this issue is, and I know exactly what the grade is. Oh, geez. And this thing is very well secured. Give me a minute to open this up here. So yeah, I'm just buying a lot more issues that are already slabbed, more than I ever have done before. And this one, I really wanted because of the story, and I don't want to spoil it by telling the story now, and I'll go into more detail later, but this is why I love Graded Sports Illustrated. This issue is all about the story behind it. And so that's what I love about this, especially compared to sports cards. Sports cards don't tell a story. Or if they do, it's kind of a crappy story. It's because it's just difficult to do that. This issue tells a story. Another thing about this too is, so I bought that. Whenever you buy something on eBay, everybody's got their username, and 99.9% of the time it has nothing to do with their real name or even their monikers if they're on social media and that sort of stuff. So I bought this one. Wasn't familiar with the username from the person I purchased it from, and then it shows up, and it turns out it's one of my regular pressing customers. So thank you. I won't say your name, but I'm sure the person who sold this to me, when you watch this video, you'll be like, hey, what the heck, man? You bought that from me. That's awesome. So bought this from one of my pressing customers. So again, I know what this issue is. I know what the grade is. I'm still going to do the reveal for your benefit. You can tell here, cigarette ad on the back, looks 80s. It is 80s. Let's take a look. Oh man, that is a beautiful, beautiful 9.4. So this is John Elway's 5th Sports Illustrated cover. Came out on January 25th, 1988. And you're probably saying, Jim, the heck are you collecting John Elway? I mean, it's fine. John Elway's 5th Sports Illustrated cover. It's a high grade. Okay, great. I know you're a Bears fan. Why the heck are you collecting Elway? And I'll get into that. So quick on the pops real quick. 9.4, this is a pop 1, none graded higher. There's a 9.0, there's an 8.5. I think there's some others out there. But here's the story behind it. So the photo for this cover, you got John Elway there, you got Cleveland there. This was taken during the AFC Championship game, the Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos in 1988. So 8 days earlier, 8 days earlier on January 17th was this game where this photo was taken. This was taken during the famous Fumble Game that has gone down in history, infamously in Cleveland Browns history. Which we'll talk about it more, but I'm going to play the clip of the play that's made this game famous. So check it out right here.
Draw to Biner. Ernest Biner Fumble the ball, and Denver has recovered. Oh, my.
The same play we saw moments ago. Jeremiah Castile, number 28, reaching in to strip that ball away.
You know what? Being a Bears fan is tough. I am glad I am not a Browns fan, because you guys have had it tougher than us. Hey, at least we had the '85 Bears. I know it was 40 years ago, and we're still living on that Super Bowl for 40 years ago, but at least we had that. I'm sorry, Cleveland Browns fans. But again, photo was taken during the infamous Fumble Game. So to provide even more context for this, let's go back the year before. Again, AFC Championship game, Cleveland versus Denver. John Elway drives it down 98 yards, ties the game with 37 seconds left, goes into overtime. Broncos win the game. Devastating for Cleveland fans. So the next year, AFC Championship game again, and Cleveland's about to win it, and they're driving, and they're about to put it in the end zone, and Ernest Biner fumbles on the 2-yard line, and John Elway and the Denver Broncos win again. It's funny, it wasn't part of that clip because it was later on, but the play-by-play guy was Dick Enberg, and he even says during the broadcast, isn't it ironic, Denver gets the ball back on their 2-yard line just like last year. So again, this is why I love graded Sports Illustrated magazines. Not only is this a beautiful looking cover, by the way, John Elway, great action shot. You can see that they're playing Cleveland, Super Bowl bound for the Denver Broncos. So it's beautiful, great piece of art. But again, tells that story. And what I think I'll talk about that in a second, but it tells that story about this iconic game. If you're a Browns fan, it's an infamous game, but this iconic game in history that we all remember. And it does it in a way sports cards never, ever can. I mean, what are you going to do if you want to tell the story about the Fumble Game in this AFC Championship game in 1988? You can buy John Elway's base card from the 87 season? I mean, that doesn't tell the story. This one tells the story. And I love it at that beautiful 9.4. Now, what I'm going to do, and I recommend you do this as well. CGC, you've heard me talk about this before. They will put certain labeling on the slab for you. And so think about this, and I talk about this all the time. PSA, when they started grading game tickets, what really did it, and what I think made graded game tickets take off as a separate collecting vertical, was they left space on the slab to tell the story about that game ticket. This is Mickey Mantle's 500th home run game. This is Mike Trout's major league debut. This is Michael Jordan's first major NBA game. That told the story on the slab. That's huge when it comes to collectability. So what I think I'm going to do, and it'll be a little bit risky because I'm going to have to crack this open and send it in. But I'm going to crack this open because I see a couple flaws in here. This one, obviously, even though this was sold to me by a pressing customer, he obviously didn't send this to me to get pressed. He must have bought it from somebody else because I do see a couple of flaws in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack this, I'm going to press it, see if I can get a higher grade. But what I'm really trying to do is get CGC to put that information on the slab notes here. Fumble Game or the Fumble Game or something like that. I'll have to figure out exactly how I want to word my request to this. So let's talk about the procedure if that's something you want to do. And so this is the same procedure you should do if you want any sort of information on this slab. So for example, is this a variant cover? Great. Is this somebody's first cover? Is it their first pro cover? Is there something else significant about this issue where there should be some notations on the slab? The first thing you should do is pull this issue up in the CGC census. Because if what you're looking to say on the slab is already there in the notes on the census, then you don't need to do anything. It's already been done. Everybody's going to get the same information. But and I've done that, so I've looked, and there's nothing on the slab that says that this is the Fumble Game. There's nothing in the CGC census mentioning that. So I'm going to now make the request that when they regrade this, that they put that information on there. What you want to do is you want to write it on the back of like a Post-it note. So, for example, I'm going to request something along the lines of Fumble Game, please include on slab label notes. Thank you. something along those lines. And I may even print off, keep in mind, CGC's a comic book company. These are all comic book guys. They're not sports guys. So we got to hold their hand and walk them through this. The Venn diagram of people that are really into comic books and people that are really into sports, there's not much overlap going on there. So you got to assume that these guys don't know nothing about sports, because they probably don't. Because they're comic book guys. It's fine. So what you want to do is really hold their hand, lay out the breadcrumbs, and walk them through. So what I'll probably do is I will probably not only do that sticky note, but I'll probably print out maybe like a Wikipedia page or something like that, proving that, you know, I'm just not asking for this and I might be wrong, or just some rando asking weird stuff that's not true about the issue. Some sort of little validation and proof of that. So what I'm going to do that, take that sticky note, I'm going to put it on the back of the backer board, but inside the bag. So not on the bagged part of it, but I'm going to put it on the back of the backer board and then put the bag through the magazine and the board. And then I'll include the Wikipedia page, probably print it off and fold it up inside the back there too. So those are the procedures. I love this. I hope you enjoyed that story. The Fumble Game, classic in Cleveland Browns and Denver Broncos history. This is the issue. This photo for this cover was taken during that game. This 9.4 is a pop 1 and none graded higher. Hope you liked the unboxing video. Like I said, I think I'm going to start doing more of these. Check me out on social media, CGC Sports Illustrated on every platform, Facebook, eBay, Twitter, Instagram, you know, just everywhere. If you are interested in my magazine and comic book cleaning and pressing service, just shoot me a DM, drop a comment here on this YouTube video or whatever. We'll get in touch and we can talk. Appreciate you watching. Thanks so much.